what Sam Darnold has shown is that he is a promising young quarterback, and people don't understand how young. Baker Mayfield's 23. Sam Darnold's 21 years old, the youngest player in the history of the NFL to start under center week 1 of his career, by the way, right? He's a baby, and he's already an NFL quarterback. That's not a non-NFL, that's an NFL quarterback. He's not a great one yet. He may never be a great one, but he's going to be a good one at least. He's 21 years old, and the reason I say the Giants made a mistake is Eli's cooked. Mm-hmm. Eli is a lot of times the offensive line is to blame, the receivers are to blame with Eli. Through the years, Eli has gotten a lot of blame that he didn't really deserve. He was much better than people realized. Mm-hmm. This year, other guys are getting blame that Eli deserves. He is slow as a statue. He does not have great arm strength down the field. It may be good enough, but it's not very accurate down the field. He doesn't even get the ball to Saquon on little, he can't even shovel pass basically a ball in a way that Saquon doesn't have to reach for it, never on his steps. Eli's been terrible. So the Giants do need a quarterback. He's 37 years old. Sam Darnold has shown already, but this is why I wanted Baker Mayfield for the Browns. I thought he should have been number 1 instead of Sam Darnold. I looked at Sam Darnold and thought, that's a project. He's going to be okay, but it's going to take a little while. Baker Mayfield, you looked at, you go, he's going to be fine right away. That's why I prefer Baker Mayfield to Sam Darnold. But Sam Darnold has already shown he is going to be a very good NFL quarterback for a very long time. He's just a baby right now.
Well, first of all, Saquon Barkley was universally recognized as the best talent overall in the draft. So if that's what the Giants felt the need to do, I'm not going to fault them for that, because what you're seeing from Eli, one would argue it's hard to predict. You guys were saying he wasn't finished before the season began. Yep. What we're seeing is him reacting to a level of punishment to the point where he's literally fearful more so than he has ever been about getting hit. Quarterbacks universally don't like to get hit, but I'm going to say this again. Eric Flowers was your left tackle. You moved him to right tackle. That was supposed to be the problem. Nate Solder has not lived up to expectations thus far. He hasn't been exceptional on pass blocking. And so you've got the left side and the right side literally collapsing on you, Eli Manning. And when I saw him on the ground and the offensive lineman helping him up, and I saw those eyes of his, I've never seen Eli like that before. It's a change. I don't know if you can predict that would happen.
No, you couldn't.
We thought that Eli Manning would have about a couple of more years left or whatever if you gave him an offensive line and a running game. But he clearly still doesn't have an offensive line. And the problem with that is that now he shot along those lines. Another reason to support.
Well, time out. Are you saying in retro, so I agree with your analysis at the time, which is why I wanted Saquon. What you know now, you're saying they still didn't make a mistake taking a QB, not taking a QB?
I'm saying to you they didn't make a mistake because you can't predict what
But we have the info now.
But it doesn't matter. You can't, because at the time that they made the decision, you have to go by that.
I agreed with them then.
I feel like Eli was cooked before this year. We've talked ad nauseum about the Giants' offensive line situation, but the Giants haven't scored 30 or more points in 34 games. Think about that. You got Odell Beckham Jr., Sterling Shepard. You got Evan Ingram.
Odell just talked about that.
You haven't scored 30-plus points in 34 games.
All
of that can't be laid at the offensive line.
You're right.
I'll answer that with a question. If you can't protect the passer and you can't block for the run, where does that leave you?
Here's what I'm going to say. In the NFL, at the quarterback position, most of these guys coming in now, they know how to make plays off schedule.
Well, you can say that.
Off schedule. What's one of the things that Sam Darnold does very, very well? He makes plays outside.
But I think there's another layer to that. There's that, and there's also, if you're not getting protected, but you have great skills players, you get rid of the ball quicker. When you get rid of the ball, you do it accurately. I mentioned he never gets the ball to Saquon on Saquon's steps. Saquon always has to wait and adjust, and the defense is there. So he's compounding the bad offensive line. He's not helping them at all.
Yeah, but look at the play calling. And you got Schumer, who's supposed to be this offensive genius just because of the job he did last year in Minnesota as an offensive coordinator. But when he was a head coach in Cleveland, that certainly wasn't the case. You have a situation in New England, for example, where you got a guy like Tom Brady getting rid of the ball inside of 2 seconds. Yeah. That's never been Eli Manning. So how come it can't be play calling? How come it has to be on Eli?
Well, Damian, we had Darren Woodson on the other day and said we're writing him off too quick. That we got to give him a chance. We got to give Shermer a chance. We got to give Saquon a chance. Do you feel like we're being too hard on them. It's only week 3.
Well, listen, I've always said, what's the constant here with the Giants? Okay, they got rid of McAdoo. You bring in, Pat Shermer. You fire the GM. You hire a new GM. But the quarterback's the same, and it's still the same results from the New York Giants. They can't push the ball down the field, and they're not scoring points with all the weapons that they have.
Well, in the
issue.
In the past, it's been their offensive line. It's been their suspect defense periodically, not consistently, but periodically, meaning 1 year, but not consecutive years. You've had defensive issues. And another argument to make in favor of Sam Darnold, for example, if you want to do that, I didn't bring this up earlier. Who was the defensive coordinator he was going against last night? Greg Williams is universally recognized as one of the best. Now, he's been associated with Bountygate, so because of that, his name got smeared to some degree. But this man knows how to confuse veterans. He gave Drew Brees a problem the week before. Drew Brees, who's passed for 70,000 yards in his career, that's a good Hall of Famer. But here you are going against a rookie on a Thursday night, and everybody want to act like, oh, my goodness.
That's a good point. And Eli can't do anything about his speed. His speed, which was never good, he never had any. But now it's like 0, okay? But there are 2 things he can do something about, and he's doing neither. He can make decisions quickly. He is not doing that, and it's checking down on every play. And he can deliver the ball accurately, and he's not doing that. So what is he doing?
Again, I'm going to it from the perspective of if you have an offensive coordinator who's now your head coach and he's calling certain plays and he's not calling for you to get rid of the ball quickly enough because he's looking for plays to be made down the field, that involves protection. If you want to call plays for the run, but you don't have guys run blocking, you don't have much of a running game. Outside of the 68-yard scamper by Saquon Barkley in week 1 against Jacksonville, the man is averaging 2.4 yards per carry.
That's Eli's fault, too.
Come on, that's Eli's fault.
I still
I'm
think
Team Eli. I'm Team Eli his whole career.